I used to think ghosts were just stories people told to explain things they couldn't understand. Now, I'm not so sure. It started 3 weeks ago. At least, that's when I first noticed her. I was walking home from work, like I always did. The sun had already disappeared behind the buildings, leaving the streets washed in that dull orange glow from the streetlights. There wasn't anything unusual about that evening. Cars passed by. People hurried home with their heads down. Someone across the street was walking their dog. Everything felt normal until I looked up. There she was. A little girl. She couldn't have been older than 8. She stood on the opposite sidewalk, wearing a simple white dress that looked old-fashioned, almost like something from another time. Her long black hair rested neatly on her shoulders, and her hands were folded in front of her. She wasn't moving. She was staring directly at me. Then, she smiled. I don't know why, but every instinct in my body told me something wasn't right. It wasn't the kind of smile a child gives a stranger. It was calm, patient, like she'd been expecting me. I looked away for just a second because a bus rolled between us. When it passed, she was gone. I searched the sidewalk. Nothing. There weren't any alleys nearby. No parked cars she could have hidden behind. It was as if she'd simply disappeared. I stood there for a few seconds, trying to convince myself I'd imagined the whole thing. Eventually, I shook it off and continued home. But that night, I couldn't stop thinking about her smile. The next morning, I was running late for work. I stopped at the same coffee shop I visit almost every day. As I waited for my order, I happened to glance outside. My stomach dropped. She was there again, standing across the street, looking straight at me, still smiling. For a moment, I couldn't breathe. Maybe it was another little girl. Maybe I was overreacting. I quickly grabbed my coffee and rushed outside. The sidewalk was empty. I looked in every direction. Nothing. A delivery driver walked past me. "Excuse me," I asked. "Did you see a little girl standing over there?" He looked confused. "What little girl?" "The one in the white dress." He slowly shook his head. "I didn't see anyone." I forced a nervous laugh. "Never mind." As I walked away, I could feel someone watching me. I turned around. Nothing. The sightings became more frequent. A week passed. Then another. Every single day. I saw her somewhere different, standing at the end of a grocery aisle, across a crowded parking lot, outside the train station, at the entrance to my apartment building. She never spoke. She never moved. She only watched me and smiled. The strange part wasn't that I kept seeing her. The strange part was nobody else ever did. I stopped asking people after the 5th time. Every answer was the same. "There isn't anyone there. You must be tired. I think you're seeing things." Maybe they were right. Maybe I was losing my mind. That's what I kept telling myself. Until one rainy evening, I was walking home beneath a black umbrella when I noticed her standing across the street again. Rain poured all around her, but she wasn't getting wet. Not a single drop touched her. That's when I realized she wasn't holding an umbrella. She wasn't even blinking. I crossed the street as quickly as I could. My shoes splashed through puddles. Cars honked as I ignored the traffic. She didn't move. She simply watched me get closer. 30 feet, 20, 10, 5. Lightning flashed overhead. For less than a second, the entire street turned white. I instinctively closed my eyes. When I opened them, she was gone. Again, but this time, Something remained. A faded red ribbon, lying in the middle of the wet pavement. It looked old. The fabric was stained with dirt and faded almost pink with age. I bent down and picked it up. It was freezing cold, colder than the rain. The moment my fingers touched it, a sharp pain shot through my head. Suddenly, I wasn't standing in the rain anymore. For just a split second, I saw water, dark water. I heard children laughing, then screaming. Someone was crying, a little girl's voice. "Please." Then everything disappeared. I stumbled backward, almost falling onto the road. A car slammed on its brakes inches away from me. The driver leaned out his window. "Are you trying to get yourself killed?" I apologized and hurried home. That night, I couldn't throw the ribbon away. Every time I picked it up, I heard that same voice. Soft, barely a whisper, almost too quiet to understand. My ribbon. I stuffed it into a drawer and locked it. I told myself I'd get rid of it in the morning. Morning never came. At least, not the way I expected. Because sometime during the night, I woke up to the sound of tiny footsteps. Slow, soft, walking across the wooden floor outside my bedroom. Tap, tap, tap. I reached for my phone. 3:03 a.m. The footsteps stopped, right outside my bedroom door. I held my breath. The doorknob didn't turn. No shadow appeared beneath the door, or nothing. Just silence. Then, very gently, I heard a little girl giggle. Not outside my room, inside it. Every muscle in my body locked in place. I slowly turned my head toward the corner of the room. The darkness swallowed almost everything. Almost. Because standing beside my bedroom closet was the little girl, smiling, closer than she'd ever been before.